What's going on, folks? So I got a viewer request video here for y'all today. I'm going to be checking out the band Onmyo-Za with the song Ibaraki-Dōji. So needless to say, I've never heard of this band before. I'm very curious to see what they got. But like I said, there's a viewer request. This song was requested by this ranger right here. Thank you. And yeah, without further ado, let's check this bad boy out, shall we? Rangers, go. I'm not quite sure what I witnessed there with that video. Pretty dark, yeah, pretty dark. Some of that imagery and what have you. It's grim to say the least. So it's like an onslaught. Yeah, I mean it's wild. It's funny because I watched this show recently, and they had this kid. He was seeing like a psychiatrist or what have you, and they gave him like a empathy test, and it kind of just scrolls through various pictures, and you see like cute little bunny rabbits and things like that, people happy and smiling, and then you see like dead people and dark imagery and things like that, and I guess it measures your response. Yeah, I feel like this would be great for that too, just to see how people feel while watching this video. But anywho, yeah, wild video. I mean, well done. It just put together. It seems like it definitely would have taken a lot of work. There was a lot to it. But yeah, pretty dark stuff there. And for the song itself, the song is very interesting as well. I mean, it has a lot of elements of kind of like a melodic death metal sort of vibe, but then the female vocals are more akin to kind of a symphonic metal style in a sense. And even the music kind of during the verses when she's singing, it gets much lighter, and then it gets like really heavy again with the guitars, and I mean they're really heavy and aggressive and almost violent sounding, which fits the video, the theme, it seems like. So yeah, very interesting. Definitely a very talented band. I thought those aggressive, when the song first started too, I was like, okay, what are we getting into here? Because I mean the guitars really kind of had that death metal sort of sound to it, and then I think they start like with the growls and stuff like that. I was like, all right, so here we go. But then all of a sudden the female vocalist started, and the music kind of lightened up a bit for like the verses. I was like, okay, yeah, now we're talking. This is more down my alley, a little bit. So it was a very interesting song the way it was put together, and I can't critique it too harshly just because it's like some of it just wasn't really kind of in my wheelhouse or my cup of tea per se. But, I still think it was a well-crafted song, the way they did it. And I love those female vocals. I mean, she's got a really, really great voice and a nice diversity, too. It's almost like borderline operatic, but then other times, not so much. And it just was really great. So I love the verses in particular. And then it seemed like later on there was I think she did like a couple kind of choruses. I could be wrong, but it's like the structure of the song was a bit interesting. So I wasn't sure, like, because when you had her verse, and then you kind of had the guys growling again, and then you have like her verse, and I was like, are those that growling section? Is that like the chorus kind of? But then she does like something different later on, like twice. So I'm really not sure. But all of the moments where she was singing, I really liked it. I thought it was really, really cool. And, it's almost like starting out with like the growls was neat, the way they did it. But then having it kind of serving for at least like the first 3/4 of the song or what have you, kind of serving as like the chorus where they're just kind of growling at you. I don't know. It just kind of takes away the vibe a little bit, in my opinion, because I was really just enjoying the section with the female vocals. And I feel like they could have done something a little bit different there for those other moments where they kind of growl and sort of leave that in the beginning, or maybe have it like in the background a little bit while she's doing something. But again, that's kind of like just personal preference. But yeah, I kind of just kept waiting for her sections to go because I really, really enjoyed it. But then one thing I will note too is at the end, when they were kind of doing the sort of growling section again, but they weren't quite growling anymore. It was more of kind of shouting or, chanting, shouting sort of thing. And I thought that was pretty cool. If they had done that earlier in the song for those couple sections, I think I would have been much more on board because it doesn't go from one extreme to the other. It kind of meets a little bit more in the middle, the way they did it there at the end. And I thought that was really cool because it just kind of sounded more like, a group kind of shouting or chanting And then the guy's voice, he's got like a harshness to his voice, but when he's kind of shouting there, it just sounded kind of cool. So like I said, it didn't just swing the pendulum from one side all the way to the other like those other like kind of growling spots did. It, like I said, it kind of met a little bit more in the middle and wasn't as jarring or didn't take you out of it as much. I just thought it sounded cooler. So I just would have preferred the way they did that at the end, throughout in those other sections, instead of just kind of like the growling sort of thing. Again, personal preference, but I think it would have. I don't know. I think it would have added something a little bit different to the song that just, I don't know. For me, yeah, I would have preferred that. So, be that as it may, take it or leave it. But yeah, still a neat song. I mean, the guitar work was done really well. They had some cool, like, little oriental vibes in there, with like musically with the instrument. That's another thing I kind of would have liked a little bit more, because it's like there like briefly in the beginning and then like one other little spot. I think that would have helped keep adding a little bit of a flavor to the song if that was a little bit more present. But even still, it was neat. And yeah, I mean, musically, the very talented group, and again, those female vocals, I really love that. And I love the melody of it too, of her sections, and I was all in there for that. So very interesting song here. So yeah, thank you so much to the Ranger who requested this song. I always like hearing things that are a bit different. It's just fun. So it's neat, pretty neat. Again, not wholly my cup of tea, but there was definitely several elements that I enjoyed quite a bit. It's just some others I didn't so much. So, it kind of leaves me sort of in the middle. But one thing I will say, though, is right when the song first started, I was like, oh boy, here we go. I wasn't sure if I was really going to like anything about it. But then when the female vocals and stuff started, I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, all right, neat. So, there's almost a little something for everybody here in this bad boy. But anywho, let me know, folks, in the comments down below. What do you think of this song here? I'm very curious to hear y'all's thoughts. And I'll catch you next time, Ranger. Out.